before that, even I joined Dino Lee's band. It was like a James Brown Vegas review. That was a blast. And,
No, I think they're doing. I'm going to interrupt you because our listeners know to go look for it. Dino Lee's White Trash review might have gone under Dino's Love Johnson. There's probably a couple of different things you can go look on YouTube, and you can see a very young Billy White.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's video. Yeah.
Oh.
Did they make you wear some costumes, or did you just kind of dress kind of rocker stuff?
No, we wore all kinds of wacky costumes, you know.
That's right.
It was a total freak show, and it was really fun.
Is it true that Bobby Landgraf sort of got you into that? Tell us how that happened.
Bobby also played, and I think it may have been through him. I'm having a hard time remembering that, but at one point we were both playing, which was really a blast. And the rhythm section was amazing. You know, he had picked all the best players from around Austin, some of the very best. And it was a huge band, you know, like 10 people on stage, a full horn section. And the shows were so wild. So
wasn't Margaret Moser from the Chronicle, was she singing backup for a little bit?
I did, yeah. And so that we did that for a while, and we made a record that got released in Europe. And then around the same time, Will Sexton, his band, he had just signed with MCA Records. So David Grissom, an incredible guitarist in Austin, who a lot of people might know, had made a record with Will, but then he was touring with Joe Ely. So Will was about to go on the road, needed a guitarist. And I went to record one song for that album that came out on MCA. And then we went on the road for several months with a big budget, you know, so we had a nice bus, nice hotels. First tour, you know, at that level of a certain amount of comfort. It was nice to have a bus and everything. And so
you're on a roll. What do you think? So you come back from that. Did the Will? It was Will and the Kill was under the Montana.
Yeah. And then that band, he went on to get some other members and kind of fired that whole band and started a new incarnation of that. And then I played with several other people, made some different records. A guy named Jay Aaron in Austin. I joined his band for some time, and then it was around '89. So this is a funny story. A lot of people talk about. Sometime around that, I had made cassettes of myself playing, you know, guitar, just kind of instrumental shredding type stuff.
If you squint, you might be able to see those on the shelf behind me.
Oh gosh, you have one of those?
I'm pretty sure I have a couple of them. Yeah.
Well, I put my phone number, you know, it was my parents' number. And I gave those out to whoever I thought might be interested.
452-5668.
Yeah. I would do that.
That's it, isn't it? That's the phone number, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, please don't anyone try calling that number. I have no idea what.
No, we don't live there anymore. So
what came out of that?
So this one tape that I ended up giving to the guitar tech of Warren DeMartini of Rat, that tape miraculously found its way to Don Dokken's hands, who popped it into a tape player as a cassette and was listening to it going, wow, I need to call this guy, this kid who's playing guitar on here. And calls my parents' house. I wasn't living there anymore, but they got through to me, and suddenly I'm talking to this guy who won't tell me who he is at first, who says he has a band in LA, a band that's quite well known, that's breaking up, and he's going to start a new project. said, I'd like to fly you to LA to write some music. And I'm thinking, wow, who is this? By the end of that
That's
conversation,
surreal. That's surreal that some guy, hi, you don't know me, but I want to fly you to LA.
yeah.
That's
And I
bizarre.
thought, somebody.
I want to go back another thing and just sort of have fun with this.
Okay.
So I know who you're talking about, right? But this person, I'll just say it, it's Don Dokken. So Don Dokken is talking to your mom. Hi, it's Don Dokken. Is this Billy's mom? Hey, what's up? I know Bill. Okay, so Billy doesn't live there anymore. So I'm just trying to fathom your mom talking to Don Dokken. It's just surreal. It's just like, what? It doesn't make sense.
Your mom talked to James Hetfield, right?
No.
So
No, she didn't. James left a voicemail on my mom's answering machine. The one that had the little micro cassettes. Yeah, that's.
So Don Dokken calls you, and he's not letting you know who he is. So that's pick up the story from there. He's telling you that he's a well-known guy starting a new project. Where does it go from there?
Well, he said he couldn't tell me because his band is they're touring on the Monsters of Rock tour, I guess it was. And it's funny because I'd been watching MTV, watching them, and I really liked George Lynch's guitar playing. And I thought, oh, that'd be a cool band. I'd love to be playing that kind of stuff in that kind of a band. And I liked Warren DeMartini of Rat a lot as well. So, the thing was, and this is where I moved on from the Watchtower thing. I just kind of wanted more straight ahead, more melodic kind of playing.
Well, after playing random phone numbers.
Yeah. There was something about it that I was drawn to. And so Don is talking to me on the phone, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, I guess we could talk further, or, when do you want me to come to LA? And then he finally, at the end, he says, okay, you can't tell anyone, but this is Don Dokken. I said, oh, wow, yeah. Hey, I've been watching you on MTV, man. Yeah, sure, I'll come to LA. I'd love to get together. And he said, I want to write some songs and kind of do an audition. And so I was the first person he contacted for his new project. So then I flew out there a couple times. We went in the studio, wrote some stuff together. I was having a very strange thing at that time, though. I had some kind of carpal tunnel or something in my left hand. So I was a little bit impaired, and my guitar playing was suffering. And I think also at the time I was just a bit nervous of going out there and really wanting to make a good impression. And so I had some tension in my hand. And the first time out there didn't go as well as I had hoped. But we wrote some interesting stuff. And so he wanted me to come back out again. And I was having some treatments on my arm for a type of carpal tunnel or something that was hindering my left hand movement.
I remember even when you were still in Watchtower, which would have been like maybe the last year in the group, you were into Tiger Balm.
Yeah.
You were using salve, and I don't know. I think you were using holistic stuff. So
yeah, there was some kind of a strained tendons or tendonitis. I had some kind of tendonitis in the left hand. So I had to deal with that. But then he wanted me to come out again. And, the next thing I knew, he was putting the rest of the band together. He had John Norum coming from Sweden. John Norway, actually. But, he was in the band Europe.
Yeah.
Quite well known. And when he came out, we started playing together, and it worked well,
Awesome.
A two guitar, we could do harmonies and things. We did this kind of two guitar approach. And then Mickey, we had gone through several drummers and bass players, trying to find the right match. We even started recording the album with other drummers, bass players. Wow. But John and I were early on the two guitar formation of that band.
Do you remember the first time you met Mickey D? This is kind of a pop quiz, Bill.
Oh man.
Do you remember the first time? Well, maybe you didn't meet him. Remember that? So let me just intervene. So Watchtower, you and I, we opened for King Diamond at the Ritz in 1986.
Oh yes, Mickey was playing drums.
Yeah, Mickey D was on drums in King Diamond's Fatal Portrait album touring. Well, Mickey was on a bunch of those King Diamond records, but the point is we were in the room with Mickey D before he was a household name.
Okay. Right.
And so fast forward to, through the end of 86 and all through 87, I'm going to not correct you, but make sure you realize it's 88 that you're getting these calls from Don, and that you are going in and out of LA.
Man, time is so strange. The timeline is, it's kind of a blur, and a lot of things happening very quickly.
You know what's interesting? This is piggybacking exactly that from the time that you and I met, which would have been in May of 1982. To let's just say May of, let's just call it 88. That's not very long.
It's not very long. It's a flash, in fact, flash.